Tina. Ladies and gentlemen, please take a seat or get on the east side of this ribbon. East Baton Rouge Parish Council members, please come stand behind me. Louisiana legislators, please come stand behind me since you helped pay for this. Thank you. Thank you very much and welcome. This is truly a celebratory and beautiful day. The weather is shining on us in a most lovely way. If the wind would ease up a bit, I think it couldn't be more perfect than it is. Very quickly, I'd like to recognize, and this is always a mess, isn't it, when you do this, but we have some very special friends here from the Netherlands. Toon Segren and your team, raise your hand, please. Deltaic, welcome to Baton Rouge. It's nice to have you here with us. We're thrilled to have them here. We're grateful to the architects of this wonderful facility. Buddy Ragland leads that team. Buddy, where are you? Buddy, raise your hand. And then I think someone is here from... Right, so we've got all the wonderful folks who got this done. And then finally, and most importantly, Lenny Lemoyne and his extraordinary team from Lemoyne. Lenny, are you behind me? Are you here somewhere? Lenny, raise your hand, please. Thank you. Lenny and I have similar roles. We take the applause, but really the true work is done by Ronnie Patton. Ronnie, where are you? Ronnie, please, raise your hand. Ronnie's in back. Ronnie and his team built this, and we're thrilled. So thank you all very, very much. I'm sure that I've missed recognizing some people, but we're thrilled to be here. This is truly an amazing facility. It is absolutely a public-private partnership. The state of Louisiana contributed significant resources, both money and property, to get this water campus built and underway. The city parish of Baton Rouge contributed this wonderful dock that I hope you'll enjoy earlier, and also has contributed to the infrastructure and to fixing the stormwater pumps that are right here to the south of this structure. So this has been an amazing public-private partnership. Every time I make these comments, I talk about how in many cases the public-private partnership is the public side puts up the money and the private side spends it. This really is a case where all of us have resources invested to achieve an extraordinary social benefit for the state. In fact, it's an existential challenge that we face, and thanks to these investments, I think we will be a safer, more secure, and prosperous place in the future. So thank you all. This building is the Center for Coastal and Deltaic Solutions. It's the third building to be built on this campus. The other two are behind you. It's the River Modeling Center and the CPRA building, Coastal Protection Restoration Authority building. And Chairman Johnny Bradbury is here with us today. Johnny, raise your hand, please. Be recognized. Thank you, Johnny. The Water Institute of the Gulf is going to be on the second floor, and you'll be able to wander through their facilities after this short presentation. The bottom floor will be a water working facility where people can come in and work share space. Folks who are involved with coastal and deltaic issues can come and collaborate and share space and coffee and ideas together. And then the third floor we call the estuary, and it is a conference center, and it's stunning. And I think you'll see that and enjoy that very much when you go upstairs. The landing, which is the old dock, is the Newton B. Thomas Landing. We're grateful to Newton Thomas for providing funding that allows us to pay for a lot of the infrastructure we're having to invest in to make this a success. I see our Commissioner of Administration at the Jay Darden. Jay, I'm sorry, please raise your hand and receive a hand of applause. Thank you, Jay. Jay has been a great partner on behalf of the governor in helping us get all this done, so we're grateful to him as well. Now, I know I've missed people, but I don't want to hold you up from seeing this wonderful facility, and we need to stay on schedule. So with that, let me invite our governor to come forth and give you some comments. Governor John Bel Edwards.
Good afternoon, and thank all of you for coming out on a beautiful, if windy, day. And I want to thank John for his leadership at the Baton Rouge Area Foundation, and thank the foundation for all of the excellent work that it does in a variety of areas, but certainly here on the water campus as well. Thank all of you for being here. Today, not only does this beautiful building contribute to the Baton Rouge skyline, it marks the rebirth of the dock, and it's going to serve as a collaboration center for the important work that's going to be done to save our coast. The Center for Coastal and Deltaic Solutions will be the most visible and accessible public facility on the water campus. It joins two other facilities here, the State Coastal Protection and Restoration Authority headquarters and the LSU Center for River Studies. The 35-acre water campus will be home to an estimated 1.2 million square feet of commercial space and retail space, restaurant and hospitality and residential space. And there's going to be an awful lot of direct and indirect jobs created. LED identified the water management sector as one of 9 key industries most critical to the growth of our state and our economy, but it's also the most important industry when it comes to restoring our coast and doing the essential work here in Louisiana. Beyond the economic advantages to our state, the water campus is a testament to the commitment that we as a state have made to preserve our coast for future generations. We don't get second chances, and we are in a race against time. And we have to have the very best and brightest minds at work, forging solutions that are reasonable solutions that can be implemented, and that's why today is so important. The water campus and the Center for Coastal and Deltaic Solutions, along with our universities and other partners, are going to help us to get it right the first time. And what we learn here, what we do here, the decisions that are made here will literally help shape the future of our state and influence coastal solutions, not just in Louisiana, not just in the United States of America, but around the world. And the experience, the expertise that's developed here is an absolutely exportable commodity and will be in demand all across the world for many, many years to come. The work that's going to go on here goes hand in hand with the mission of our Coastal Master Plan, and I want to thank Johnny Bradbury for his leadership at CPRA. And that is a sophisticated, comprehensive approach to land loss and flood risk. It's rooted in science. It incorporates the input of various stakeholders and directly reaches out to our citizens in the development process. And some people hear about the master plans and our annual plans, and they mainly think, well, you're all planned but no action. Well, that's absolutely false. The actions of the CPRA have garnered attention worldwide. In the past 10 years, we've dredged more than 130 million tons of sand and sediment to create more than 41,000 acres of land. And yes, it is sadly true that we're losing a football field of land an hour, but we've also built more than 31,000 football fields, and that counts the end zones, in case you're wondering. We've restored more than 60 miles of barrier island and shoreline in a magnificent and sustainable way. And the water campus is going to help us accelerate the efforts outlined in the master plan and capitalize on Louisiana's growing global stature as a center of water management research and development. And as John told you a while ago, it also capitalizes on public-private partnerships with donations of 15.3 acres of city parish property and 13.27 acres of state property, and the ability of the Baton Rouge Area Foundation to manage the public-private contributions and master planning under a cohesive development entity. This project is the quintessential example of the impact we can make on our future through strategic investments in public-private partnerships. And I want to thank everyone who has worked so hard to advance this vision and has contributed to making this possible. And yes, there's a lot more to do. We're nowhere near the finish line. I think everybody knows that. But this is a concrete, tangible step in that direction. And with the help of the institutions opening here today, we can accelerate our efforts because we must, and in fact, we will. So thank you all for being here. I want to wish you a very Merry Christmas, and may 2018 be the very best year ever for you and your family and for the great state of Louisiana. And I want to introduce to you all the Mayor-President of East Baton Rouge Parish, Sharon Weston Broome. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor Edwards, and it's great to see everyone here today. I especially want to thank many of the council members who laid a foundation for this, as well as former Mayor Holden, who I see out in the audience as well. You know, this grand building expands our visibility and our reach south of the Mississippi River Bridge and into a growing corridor. I can tell you, as your Mayor-President, I am extremely proud to say that our local government has supported this project from the very beginning. I'm also pleased with our collaboration with state government resources to improve the roads, including one that will lead directly to this iconic building. The old Baton Rouge Municipal Dock property was constructed in 1926 for $550,000, and it enabled ocean-going vessels to offload heavy cargo onto barges for upriver transport or to rail for inland shipment throughout Baton Rouge. With the construction of the facility on the West Bank, the old city dock was no longer in service by 1968. And so today the dock enjoys a rebirth with the opening of the new Center for Coastal and Deltaic Solutions. The Water Campus project will capitalize on the capital region's competitive strengths and will positively move regional economic indicators. The campus is a catalyst for development along the Nicholson Corridor, expanding our revived downtown and attracting residential and new businesses to a community that has been ignored for so long. This is yet another step in consistently growing Baton Rouge even more as an equitable place of peace, prosperity, and progress. It is now my pleasure to hand the mic to Justin Ernworth, President of the Water Institute of the Gulf.
Well, thank you very much, Mayor, President. Governor Edwards, thank you for being here and for your leadership and support of the coast. And to all the elected officials and members of the Baton Rouge Area Foundation Board of Directors, the Water Institute Board of Directors, friends and colleagues, how awesome is this? How awesome is this building? This really, a building like this and a campus like this doesn't just happen. It requires vision. And it requires not just vision, it requires the wherewithal and the fortitude to actually make things happen, and make things happen under difficult circumstances. And in this community, we are so privileged to have people with vision and determination and the wherewithal to see that vision through. And I really want to recognize again John Davies, John Spain, the staff of the Baton Rouge Area Foundation and their board of directors for their vision. Please join in a round of applause for them. This team of the Baton Rouge Area Foundation and Commercial Properties has not only transformed this area, but they had this idea. After Hurricane Katrina, people started getting together. Baton Rouge Area Foundation brought people together and said, we have a water problem here. What should we do? And so Senator Landrieu and the folks at the Coastal Protection Restoration Authority, many people from this community did what anyone would do in that moment, is they bought plane tickets and they flew to the Netherlands to figure out how the Dutch have been doing it. Because the Dutch, of course, have been protecting their coastline for the last 800 years. And in 1953, the Dutch had a terrible flood that they have learned a great deal from, and so we went over. So we went over and studied what the Dutch were doing. And during the course of those travels, the delegation came across Deltaic. They came across Deltaic, which is the premier coastal and deltaic applied research institute in the world. They are the gold standard, they are the best. They are working in countries all over the world, and they toured the campus of Deltaic. And were so impressed, and when they got back to Baton Rouge, everybody got together and said, you know, you remember that Deltaic thing? We need to get us one of them here in Baton Rouge. And that was the idea for the Water Institute. And so they went and they recruited a brilliant hydrologist named Chip Grote, who had led the U.S. Geological Survey under Presidents Clinton and Bush. And Chip was hired as my predecessor, the president of the Institute, and he went out and recruited some of the best minds in the world, folks from important universities all across this state and beyond, and said, come with me on this journey. We're going to create a Deltaic of Louisiana. And over those last 5 years, Chip and the team that were put together, about 40 people, which represents approximately 11 different countries at the Water Institute. It's a remarkable place, especially on potluck lunches when people are bringing food from their home country. Brought together this remarkable group of people, and our primary mission was to help the state of Louisiana with the Coastal Master Plan. And we are so proud and grateful for the opportunity, and we thank Chairman Bradbury, Michael Ellis, and the entire CPRA team for the honor of working with you and standing shoulder to shoulder with you during the course of the development of the 2012 and 2017 Master Plan. It is without question what we are most proud of at the Water Institute. And now that the 2017 Master Plan was approved again unanimously by the legislature, our work is twofold. Number one, we need to continue on standing shoulder to shoulder with CPRA and applying the best science in the world, bringing our colleagues from the Netherlands to help us figure out how to implement these projects to save our very way of life in the most thoughtful fashion. And number two, as the governor said, we have to export what we have learned in Louisiana. We are at the tip of the spear on some of the most challenging issues confronting coastal and deltaic populations around the world. We understand the challenge of subsidence. We understand the challenge of sea level rise. We understand that our communities need to adapt and become more resilient. And so what we are doing here, by bringing the best science to bear, by bringing the best thought and community organizing to bear, is not only saving our way of life, but helping us go to places like Vietnam, to the South Pacific, to Texas, where we've been in the last few weeks, helping folks understand how to best think about recovering and responding from Harvey. And I think the governor is absolutely right. Not only are we developing what's needed here, but we are exporting that knowledge. And it's not just science, by the way. When we go to Houston, when we go to the Mekong Delta, we as the Water Institute and our colleagues from the Netherlands can help to do some of the advanced science work and planning for what to do. But when it actually comes time to turn dirt, that's when we partner up with our colleagues in the private sector engineering firms all across this state who are actually doing it. Because we are in an existential crisis when it comes to our land loss issues, but we also have a remarkable opportunity to continue to bring the best science and analysis to bear. So as we move forward with that work, I want to thank everybody who is here, those standing behind me, and all of you, because there would not be a Water Institute but for all of the people who are here, for our many collaborators in the universities across this state, because we stand on the shoulders of giants when we do the science that we're doing. We are so grateful for the honor of working with you day in and day out, and we hope that you will continue to stand with us and work with us as we bring the best science to bear to address our set of challenges. So I congratulate all those who were a part of creating the Water Institute, this water campus, for the opportunity that you have created for us, and welcome to this wonderful, wonderful facility. And with that, let me bring back John Davies to take us through the rest of the program. Thank you very much.
First, I need to correct an omission. Mayor Holden, I didn't see you sneak up on me here, but as you know, much of this got started under Kip Holden's administration, and thank you, Mayor Broom, for recognizing the mayor and having sharper eyes than I do. Thank you, Kip, for your wonderful leadership. Okay, now the ceremonial part. We're going to invite people, and they know who they are, to please come forward with scissors, because I don't know who they are, but Tina Rance does. Tina, make sure everybody has weapons. Please come up to this beautiful ribbon for the ceremonial ring. Oh, I've got one too. Okay. Let's put the mayor and the governor.